Hi guys, I'm Ronnie, and today I'm going to show you how to change a power steering pump on a 2007 Nissan Altima 2.5 engine. Here's the tools I need for the job. Alright, so in order to get the job done, we need to pull the right side front tire off. So I'm going to jack the car up in the center, pick the whole front of the car up, find a spot with some structural integrity, which is right here. I got a nice cross member. Find a spot for some jack stands, pull that tire off, give us access to the power steering pump. It's behind that right front tire. We're going to support to this same cross member we jacked up on right here. Both sides. Keep it nice and level. Set it down gently. Alright, I'm going to leave the jack there for safety. These are all out of our way. I can pull that tire off. Okay, so I'm using my electric impact here. Not everyone has one of these, but we're going to speed the process up a little bit. Cap out of the way. It's down there for a minute. So there's probably supposed to be some plastic here. It got busted away at some point or in time or another over the miles of this car. But the power steering pump, we're starting to see it right here. This is the lower bolt. This is the serpentine belt. And here's the pulley. So I need to get this bolt out, the serpentine belt off, go up top, take apart the reservoir, the hoses, and the top bolt that should come right out the bottom here. Okay, I'm going to start by removing the serpentine belt. Forgot to mention I have a serpentine belt tool here. And there is our tensioner. Very simple. Undo the tension on the tensioner pulley. Slide the belt off the pulleys. Gently release it, spring loaded. And there we go. We'll get our belt out of the way a little bit. Next thing to do, set up for an oil spill. I'm going to put a pan down here with some pig mats and catch because I'm about to drain. Okay, so I'm going to evacuate the power steering reservoir with the turkey baster, just to kind of eliminate some mess down below. Let the old fluid out. Can run everywhere if I just disconnect it from the bottom. So next step now, I got the belt off already. I will break the lines loose down below and let it finish draining and start working on pulling the pump off itself. Okie dokie, so I'm going to just connect the sensor. There's two hoses on a power steering pump, pressure and return. I gotta get both of those off. Alright, get the harness out of the way a little bit. I go for this bolt here, holds this hose on. And here comes the drippage. So there's going to be some extra fluid down the bottom side here. It's expected. I'm going to try to catch it. Problem is it hits everywhere except where you want it to go. I'll give that a minute to drain. Alright. That's one out of the way. Lower mounting bolts happens to be right here. Alright. Lower bolt. Lower hose. I'm going to try to get that upper hose off while I'm here. That looks accessible. That looks like a Torx bolt that holds that other hose on. I'm going to try to get in there and get that off. I'm not sure I can. Yep. That little popping sound is a sound of success. The bolts broke loose. Pull the other hose off. Might get a little more oil out of it. Maybe not. So I got my bottom side all disconnected and everything ready there. My top side, I'm going to gain access by pulling the reservoir, this motor mount, and I'll be able to find that upper bolt. And to do so, this has got a little clip here. Slide it out of the bracket. So the hose is already off the pump, so this hose is going to come with it and get out of the way. So boom, that's out of there. Now, 19mm wrench. Pull this dog bone mount out of the way. Okay to take this off without supporting the engine. I'm going to take these two bolts out and lift up on this. Here we go. A little bit there. Slide this guy out of the way. that aside. Okay, so our top bolt, now we can get our arm in there and see where we're at. I can feel it. Really can't see it, but I know where it's at. So the bolt's pretty tight. I think I'm gonna get the socket on there. See if I got more leverage down below to break it loose. Yep, that's my last bolt for the pump. A little bit of a cumbersome project, but a couple tools, get the job done. There's that bolt. All right, there we have it. 2007 Nissan Altima 2.5 engine, power steering pump removal. All right, I've got my pump off the car. Got the new Duralast pump from AutoZone here. So I'm gonna match these up, make sure everything's good. And I've got brackets switched from one to the other. Get this going and get it right back on the car. New pump came with new sealing rings and O-rings for the hoses. So I'll transfer these brackets side by side the way they're both facing so I don't lose any orientation. Get all my bolts spun in and tightened up. One more bracket on the back side. The old pump out of the way. Down there. We'll loosen these up and get them ready. Make sure they come off easy while they're in the car. We'll leave them on. We'll leave these protectors here on so no debris gets in the pump as we're installing it. Probably just as much fun going in as it was coming out. There we go. Right into place. My lower bolt in place. See if I can get the upper one in from down below. I think I can see it. Kind of found that top hole a little bit. Got it in there started. That's a little bit tricky to get to. There we go. There we go. I feel it tighten it up now finally. All right, lower bolt. Get it up real quick. All right. I'll go ahead and pull my covers off. Ready to install the hoses. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through the top. I'm gonna put the wishbone back on so I get the reservoir back on. Reservoir is gonna bring the hose back down to me. I'll connect these two hoses. I'll put the belt back on and we'll fill it up. This guy's gotta go in first. Put the motor mount back in first because that bolt interferes. All right, now my power steering reservoir. Fish it through. Pop the hose in and get underneath. There we go. Reseat that in place. Okay, down below. The top hose has a small bolt. Got that started. All right, so the lower bolt has got new copper washers. Nice to have all new gaskets and O-rings and copper washers with the pumps applied. Right about there. Yep. One click at a time on the ratchet here. All right. Reattach my sensor. All right, move on to the belt. All right, so my belt come apart here. Kind of lost where I was. Didn't really look at it beforehand. So I went ahead online real quick. This car doesn't have the diagram on the hood like most do. So I looked up the belt orientation and now I'm following a little map on which way to put it on. While I was working, the belt come off and went its own way, and that's where it wound up. I think I know what I need. Water pump. Power steering. Air conditioning. Okay, yep, I got it. All right, got my diagram figured out. Pop the belt on. Bleed the system. All right, everything looks good. Okay, first I'll clean up the mess I told you I was gonna make. Then I'm gonna get the tire back on. And once I get the tire back on, I'll fill it up with fluid and bleed it. Okay. I'm gonna zip the tire on quick with an impact. Once I get it down on the ground, I'll torque it properly with a torque wrench. Another thing we don't want to do is over tighten the lug nuts. Okay. All right, top off my power steering reservoir. I'll bead the system. Leave the car jacked up in there. I'm going to put it to the high side there on the line. Put this back on so no oil comes back out while there's air getting flushed out. I'll kick the tires back and forth with the engine off, lock to lock, just to get some oil going through the system. I'll stop, check it again, top it off if need be. Do this again with the engine running. Doing this process, either engine on or off, you should see the reservoir drop as the system takes in fluid. Then once this is completed, I can go for a test drive and check out my new power steering. All right, car coming down. And there you have it. How to replace your power steering pump on a 2007 Nissan Altima 2.5 engine. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.